Now, many years ago, I was sitting in a very exact same chair as you all right now. And I was contemplating on the very advice that puzzled me. Find your passion, find your success. Now, it's a good advice, but you know what I think of this? I think it's complete bull. I think it makes no sense because first of all, how do you find your passion? And once you find your passion, can you make a career out of this? Now, these were some really tough questions I repeatedly asked myself. Now, growing up just like a lot of you, I'm pretty sure, I had many interests. I love basketball, I love music, I love video games. But the one thing that I'm most definitely passionate for is music. In fact, I've always been playing in a band. I played the bass guitar, and I played in from several high school, middle school, university, won many battle bands. And although I could play it really well, at the time I just did not pursue a career in music because I feel like there was something else I wanted to become. So although I could slap the bass like a boss, I just knew I was not going to be the next Flea. So the advice that I get told very often were very inspirational ones, like do what you love, and you'll love what you do, and eventually success will come along the way. Sometimes I get a very practical advice as well, like, hey, Silicon Valley is pretty cool. Why don't you pursue a career in computer science? But the truth that needs to be told is that these career advices does not give you a roadmap towards finding a fulfilling career. It does not even tell you how you can find your passion, nor does it tell you how you can connect your passion with your career. Now, passion. Passion is something that I think is very emotional, something to do more with your heart than with your mind, something that you feel, right? So passion really lightens you up. Passion is something that you can talk about with strangers for hours. And in fact, you can get lost in time while doing something that you're passionate about because you love it, right? You value it. Now, the bad news about passion is that there will never be a good guidelines to how you can find them. And no matter where you look, towards your friends, your family, people you know, no one can tell you where it is, right? However, the good news is you already know what you like. You have that key to find your passion. And only you will be able to find it. Now, I believe that making a career out of your passion is important. It's probably the first step. But you cannot just solely rely on passion for your success. So what is it? What's the secret, right? Well, this isn't really a secret. It's just an equation that I worked out, and it's really applicable in my life, and I want to share with you all. And as you may see, passion, put passion as the first part of the equation because passion is very vital to your pursuit of success. But what is it, you're wondering? What is the missing piece? It's simple. It's 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours that just immense around your whole idea of the industry that you're going to be in. 10,000 hours that immense around this whole idea of practicing. And now, one of my favorite quotes of all time is that you will never find glory when you're practicing. But without practice, you will never find glory. And the 10,000 theory is said best only by Malcolm Gladwell, which he did. But not to criticize him or anything, I just feel like there's a lot of hidden truth behind those 10,000 hours. It was while I was doing a career in, it was while I was doing an internship at the Ritz-Carlton, Beijing. It was part of my university program. And at the time, I had to wake up at 4 a.m. every single day to open up the buffet. And as I was walking to work, I just realized that it was really cold. It was Beijing and it was winter. And I want to ask you all a question. What do you think about five-star hotel breakfast? It's beautiful, right? It's glamorous, it's gorgeous. Probably the best breakfast you can have in your life. But I can guarantee you that being the one behind it, there's absolutely nothing beautiful about getting up that early, pouring cartons of orange juice into the buffet. And still, I was doing this every single day. I was doing it 6 days a week, half a year, and these were really long hours. I'm talking 10 to 12 hours long shift. Afterwards, I returned back to my university to continue my study. But actually what I realized, the important thing that I realized about the internship didn't happen at the internship, but it happened when I returned, is that I realized that the number of people in my class just shrinks drastically. 10 to 20 people just dropped out. Now, even though I only clocked in about 2,000 hours into my internship, what made me realize at the time that differentiate myself from my classmate was that I found my passion. And with my passion, I had the perseverance to push myself through those long and tough hours of the industry. And yes, you could argue that was only an first internship, but I went on and did a second one in New York. This time I worked in a different department. It was really challenging, but I felt like I just needed more overall understanding of the hospitality industry. Then I graduated, I worked my way through the culinary scene of China, and now I'm back here in Bangkok. You see, giving people fantastic service, giving them great experience, and meeting people from different corners of the world, that's my passion. But pushing myself through those really tough times of the industry, pushing myself through those long hours, that's my perseverance. And although you could argue that I was already a very sociable person, there was no way I was going to deliver those level of service and commitment without my passion. So I want you all to return to the equation that I created. Passion plus expertise. Passion, we have established that it is something that's emotional. Passion gives you that drive to want that success in your life. But passion is only the fuel. It's not going to make you successful alone, right? You need that long hours in the industry. You need that expertise. So I believe that it is impossible to achieve success without having that mentality to become an expert of the field you're in, without having that mentality to acquire knowledge for the industry that you work in. But of course, this is not to say that there's only one way of doing things in life. Because when you grow up, you will know that one thing is that both the beauty and the tragedy of life is being exposed to the unexpected. And so I want to tell you all a short story about my childhood. When I was in high school, I always wanted to pursue a career in computer science. I thought it was so cool, to become one of those video games developer. But as I was revising my grades with my school counselor, I had met up with the harshest truth of my life. He was looking through and he said, "Anas, you might not be the brightest student in the school. In fact, your maths is so bad that you took the lowest level of maths in the IB program and you still struggle to pass." But that was not what I remembered. What I remember was that he mentioned one thing that I want you all to remember as well. Is that each and every one of us, we're good at something. We're always better at something than someone else. Even if you don't feel like we're good at something, you all have something that you are good at. And he said that, "Anas, teachers love you, students love you, you are very good at socializing. Have you looked into hospitality management?" And I started thinking about it. I went to the university with still a little doubt in myself because it wasn't my first career of choice. But then, throughout this experience, I learned that what if we put all of our energy and effort into something that we're good at? It could ignite something, right? It could become a passion. Because you never know, when you do something that you're good at, you tend to fall in love with it. And I realized this every time when I managed to put a smile on the customer face at a hotel so effortlessly, right? And then I won awards for the best intern. That made me happy. Love my job. So I want you all to think that when you have the skills, you have that effort, you put into something that you're good at, it's sort of like a chemical reaction, right? It's like a catalyst. There's a spark, and then that spark, who knows, could ignite your first journey of success. With this in mind, success is what you make out of it. Am I the most richest, most successful restaurateur in Bangkok? I'm not, right? If you ask me now. But do we serve the best steaks, the best food in Bangkok? I believe we do. In fact, we rank among those top restaurants right now. Now, the important thing that I want you all to remember is that success really takes time. Yes, it's a very obvious, very simple concept, but remember that success takes time. Now, as a musician as well, I wanted to tell you a quote that I find it really relatable. It's a quote from Alan Waltz, and he said that if I tell you all right now to head over to that piano and I tell you to work it, you're going to give me this confused look, right? How do you work a piano, right? In fact, life itself is best compared with the analogy of music because you can only play an instrument. And the trick to a successful life, said again by Alan Waltz, is that you have to try to get paid while you feel like you're just playing. So I beg you to find your passion. People can feel your passion. Your employer will feel it one day. You don't put that on a CV, but they will feel it. Your employees will feel it when you own your own business. Now, I feel like I've polished enough cutleries, I poured enough orange juice to say that my journey was a tough one. But I want you to remember that passion will steer you through those rough tides of your journey. And I would always rather be the one who steer my own boat than to listen to the command of someone else's idea of success. Thank you very much.